Concurrent credit is just credit that students are going to be able to receive high school and college credit at the same time. So whenever our students take a college class, it is just a semester in length, just like a typical college class is, but they do get one full high school credit for that course. The state just changed this year, starting with this class, not this class, but this school year, that all of the concurrent credit classes are also going to be weighted. So just like an AP course, they would receive a weighted grade point. So if they get an A, instead of it being a 4 point on their GPA, it would be 5. So that is something that is new, that changed with legislation this year. So those concurrent classes that they take will have that placed on it as well. So we have our concurrent credit we do through Northwest Arkansas Community College. And so they're our partner in this, and we have several different offerings that we will talk about. We do also offer courses through Northwest Technical Institute, and that is where they can get, it's concurrent credit too. It's a little different because they do everything in that one organization. But we'll talk about that during some parent nights we'll have coming up in December. We'll talk about just all the high school programming that we have. So tonight we're just going to focus on our partnership with NLAC and what you can do with them. So first of all, in order to get into a concurrent course, there are requirements, and these are the state of Arkansas requirements. This is what you have to have anywhere that you would take concurrent credit in the state of Arkansas. A student has to have a 3.0 cumulative GPA, so whatever that GPA is at the time of registration for courses. They have to have qualifying test scores. So there's you could do the ACT if your student has had the ACT and they've got the scores on that. The other option for test scores is the AccuPlacer. So the AccuPlacer is a placement test that NLAC and other colleges use to place you in courses. And those test scores are set by the state of Arkansas. They can't be waived, so students have to have those. So the typical test that they take on the AccuPlacer is reading, writing, which is not writing, it's actually the English portion. And if they're taking math, there's a math section that they take. The nice thing about the AccuPlacer, one thing, they can take it here at Heritage. They have dates set up that they've been advertising already. I think there's actually some going on tonight, right? So students can take the test here on their home campus. And if they take it here on their home campus, they do not have to pay for the AccuPlacer. The other part is they get the results as soon as it's completed, so they know if they got the score that they needed and want. And then the part that I really like is it's not timed. So students can take their time on the test and don't feel that pressure of the time piece. And I find sometimes students who've taken the ACT and didn't do as well will do better on the AccuPlacer for that reason. The other piece to that is they can take it multiple times. It's not just certain dates like the ACT has. So if your student is interested in taking a concurrent course for next school year, they want to, if they haven't done that ACT, they want to get involved with the AccuPlacer and take the AccuPlacer test. Either here at Heritage, they can also take it at NLAC. They do have that option where students can sign up to go to take it. It would cost $10 to take it there. They just have to make an appointment and do that. So it is possible to take it at NLAC, but it is offered here for your students to do that as well. There is also still the December ACT, so they could try that as well if they wanted to do that. So that is what those qualifying test scores are, and those are actually in our course catalog that you can get to on the website. It has all the different listings for those. There's also on the handout that you have, you can scan it and look at those scores too. The other thing is, and this is a big piece, they have to apply and be admitted to NLAC. And they're going to be admitted to NLAC. They're going to be able to do it, but this is always the biggest struggle. So as a parent, your biggest thing that you can do is help get your student through this part. And the reason why is they'll do the application part, and then they get an email, and they do have to do some other things to be admitted. It's called workday tasks. And so I have some nodding. Some people have been through this process before. And that's where you have to submit like your social security card so that you can get the scholarship that's associated with the state of Arkansas for it. It's where you have to submit your test scores and just some other things like they're a college student, and so they have to agree to certain things that are in place there. And so sometimes students will do that first part and not complete the second part, or they kind of, sometimes it's their first time doing it, they get bogged down, they don't even want to like push the button to go next and things like that. So just sitting down with them and reassuring them, and making sure they apply as a concurrent student. So we will have workshops on this in November, December, where we'll actually be able to assist the students too, and the counselors will assist them. But if you know that your student is wanting to do one of these courses, it's just that question: did you apply? Did you complete all the tasks that you have to do? Because that's kind of where they get stuck in the process. There is also a registration form that they do with their high school counselor. So they do the application to be admitted to NLAC, and then the high school counselor, there's a form, and you will see this form, or you should see this form because you have to sign off on it. And it just talks about the rigor of college courses. It talks about how that college grade is forever on their college transcript. And so it's important for them to really take that course seriously. And it has some other things for you to see, but it's also where the student puts what course they want to take through NLAC. And so that's how the counselor communicates to NLAC. This student wants to take College Comp 1 and College Algebra, and that's how they actually get registered. So there's the apply and be admitted part, and the student has to do that first, and then they will turn in their registration, and that will happen during registration time for courses for the next school year, which starts towards the end of January. So those are the main pieces. So I did put up here just so that we know the secondary career center courses, we're going to talk about those. There is a 2.0 GPA, so it's a lower GPA requirement, and some of the programs don't require test scores, some do. You have to turn in test scores though, because that's a requirement, just that those are there for that, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. This slide is loaded with information, sorry. Does anybody have questions just at this moment? Okay. The next thing that is just over in the corner, if your student has an IEP or a 504, they must contact NLAC's Disability Resource Center and identify themselves so that they can get the support that they need through that NLAC class. They're very helpful. They make the process easy enough. There's a form that the students will fill out to get them to where they can get connected with them, but they do have to do that in order to receive services through NLAC. And we will help students through that process too if they need it. Is there anything you want to add to any of that?
With the 504 IEP, if your student is going to take their NWAC concurrent class at their high school, even though it's still in the same building, the information is not provided or shared. It's a student-driven, parent-driven function, and so even if that college class happens here at this campus, it's still an NWAC college class, and so the student will need to contact the resource center to get that in place. And the link or the website has the application to get started. Once they submit that, then they'll receive a call from our Disability Resource Center to see what's next.
And they do drive that through the student, like she said, but your student can allow you to go with them and be part of that process, but they are going to work through the student for that. Okay, so here are the options, and we'll talk about each one of these individually. We have courses on Heritage Campus that students can take, so they can take them with just like a normal schedule. It'll be one of their periods here in their Heritage High School schedule. And so there are teachers, Heritage teachers, they're also qualified through NLAC to teach the college courses. They use the same syllabus, books, all the same things as they would on the NLAC campus. I think this is nice for students because it keeps them where they don't have to travel back and forth, but it also kind of transitions them into, because even though they are NLAC instructors, they're also high school teachers, so they know how to help them kind of navigate that transition into those college courses. We also have an associate degree program. So this program, students start junior year, and it's a 2-year program, so they have to start junior year, and then they'll also do it senior year, and by the time they're finished with that, they'll have their associate's degree. We offer online courses through NLAC, so these are courses that you really have to be committed to because it is online. There is a professor from NWAC who's over that course, but it's not like a self-paced kind of thing. There's weekly assignments and things that students have to keep up with. So I always say the student has to be really driven and responsible to take these classes. And then you can take classes on the NWAC campus, which is mostly something that seniors may take some on the campus if they would like to, and then that secondary career center. So those are the options that students have to take those courses. So let's talk about on the high school campus. On this campus and the Rogers High School campus, there is an offering of courses. These are all the things that you can take, but I will say this is driven by student registration. So even though we offer concurrent intro to education, for example, if there's not enough students that sign up for that course, it may not be offered that year. Typically on every campus, you'll have the college comp 1 and 2, college algebra, and college finite or college trig most often makes every year. And so that's something that is most typically offered. And then depending on just who the campus has, as far as their teachers go, Heritage does have the biology class. Currently, it doesn't have the public speaking class, but they might could have it next year if they have a teacher who becomes qualified to teach it. So it'll be on the registration sheet information that comes out what the offerings will be on the Heritage campus for your students to take. But just like it says, they still follow that same timeline and syllabus that the NWAC class has, so it's just a semester class that they would take here on this campus with one of the teachers here. And they will know if it's going to make or not before they leave for summer, so they'll know what classes they can take. The associate degree program. So if you are someone here who has a junior next year, so they're currently a sophomore, and they want to do the associate degree program, I highly encourage you to come to the parent night that we have for that because we'll go in greater detail about that. That's a really big commitment. We do have students at each high school that do that program, that love it, enjoy it. It does give them 60 college credit hours, or there's a couple programs, it's a couple more hours than 60. But by the time they graduate from high school, they will have an associate's degree in their high school diploma. With this one, they are on NWAC's campus for part of their school day, and they're on their home campus for 2 periods. And when they're a senior, they may not have to take 2 because they may be doing well and not needing to be on campus or take a class here. So the requirements that they're taking at NWAC, a lot of those transfer into requirements that they need for graduation. So they do need a 3.0 to be eligible for this program and test scores just like the other. I would also say they're in college classes with other college students. It's going to college. They take a full 15 hours a semester, so it is a very rigorous program. Last year, I think we had 33 graduates, that one right here. I think it was 33, around 33 that graduated from our district who completed that program. So there is a parent night on November 11th. It's at the PLC building, which is the small building located by Rogers High School. We'll keep putting that out there, but if your student's interested in that, you can talk to us after, but we'll have another meeting for that too. And we have, way too fast. We do have with that, there's 5 different degree programs that students can do, and those are general transfer degrees to other universities in the state of Arkansas and most public universities outside of the state. But the biggest thing is just to make sure with any of these classes that it fits into your student's plan for after high school. Because there are some situations where it's like, do I take concurrent, do I take AP? Well, it depends on what your student's wanting to do, what that college is looking for. They may not know where they want to go to college yet, but they might have a short list. And by the time they're junior, they should at least have about 5 they're thinking of or in that area. And they really want to start talking to that college to see, hey, is it better for me to take AP or take some college classes? Will this transfer? So those are some things that they want to think about. The online classes, this is just They're going to take it online. Like I said, it's not self-paced, so they have to stay on top of it. We have some students that do really well with this. We've had a few that struggle because since they're not right in front of a teacher every day, they put it off and they put it off and they don't log on. So they have to really stay on top of it. And as a parent, I think that's one of those things where you're like, I need you to log into so I can check and make sure you're doing okay. Because that's really the only time that we've had students not have success. This is not a time that I would probably take math if they're not really strong in it, or science. Those are things I'd stay away from. But some general ed courses like a history or public speaking, something like that, that usually goes well on online. And then on the NLAC campus, this is usually just seniors that might take a course or two on the campus, and it really is dependent on the availability that NLAC has. In the school day, they have to be able to fit it in their school day, so they want to do this senior year and be able to travel over there to take classes. They want to make sure they've got their graduation requirements done. They have time in their school day that they can do that. They don't take night classes or anything like that with this, just during the school hours. Okay, the Secondary Career Center. This is where they earn college credit, they also earn certification. So these are the programs that NLAC offers in their Secondary Career Center. We have the Certified Nursing Assistant, and they actually get the Patient Care Assistant with that program too. So they actually get 6 college credit hours for that, and it ends up being 2 credits for their high school transcript. There's Construction Technology, there's Dental Assisting, the EMR and EMT. The newest one is Licensed Practical Nursing, and this is kind of a newer one. I'm still learning it myself a little bit, but they have to take some prerequisites before they can get into that program, like anatomy, biology, math, and so there's some things they have to do ahead of time. And then there's robotics and automation. So if your student is interested in one of these areas or thinks that they are, this is a good way to get started. It's also, I have students, this is what they want to do for their job whenever they get out of high school. I also have students that say, hey, I want to go into the medical field, but I want to work as a CNA while I'm going to college. And so they want to get that done. I also have students who are like, I think I'm interested in dental. And then she did the dental program. She's like, I hated that. I don't want to do that. And she ruled it out. So it's a way to explore a career that they might be interested in, but they do this really well at NLAC, and students really enjoy the programs over there. And the best part about all these things is that there's at no cost to families, which is my next slide. So in the past, there has been a scholarship that paid for 2 courses a semester through the lottery scholarship. Through new legislation that just passed this year, it states that families do not incur any cost of college courses. So students can take up to 15 hours a semester at no cost. So tuition, you don't pay for tuition, you don't pay for books or other supplies of the materials that students are required to get for that class. So the district pays for that, and there is some funding from the state that comes into it. But that is one of the big advantages to taking in high school, and is just the cost. You're not having to pay that cost. The other big advantage is just kind of getting their feet wet and seeing how college classes go, where they have a little more support and maybe oversight from home or from teachers here at school. And so those are some of the reasons that students take it and get, or they just want to get a head start on what they want to do. They might be going to college for a lot more years than some. But for this, students just have to, there's not an application or anything separate that they have to do. They're automatically, once they have done all their admissions process, they have to include their social and things like that whenever they're doing that. They will automatically qualify for this, and it'll be paid for. So there's not anything separate that they have to do, except remain eligible. So they have to keep a 2.5 or higher GPA. They can be on probation for a short time. They also, if they fail a class, this will allow them to take the class one time again, but then they won't be able to after that. So there are some things to stay eligible, but if they're eligible for concurrent classes, they're going to be eligible for this. And this is just kind of steps to take. This is something that as you guys are getting ready, Definitely have your students talk to their counselor, and their counselor can answer any questions for them. They will need to test, and so that's the part that you want to start thinking about right now if they're going to take something for next year, to have them do that acupuncture. Or if they haven't done the ACT, you can look, they may already have the score if they've already taken the ACT. There's some students who start early on that. Then they need to apply and be admitted to NWAC, and so we will have some sessions for that. We will help them with that. We'll give some information out on that. So have your students be watching the announcements for that to come out, because we'll put that out to all the students whenever we have those. And they can get on and do it themselves too, but the application's already open for next year. But if they want some assistance with it, we'll have some opportunities for assistance. And then the last thing they have to do is register with their counselor. So they have to turn in that paperwork that they'll get at registration time that says, this is the classes that I want to take through NWAC. So on this, we'll send this out to Parent Squared, but this is just the links. You've got the student guide and the test score chart. You can get through there. I just linked some things here. My email is also here. And this is just as you're talking to your students, what I just kind of said is make sure that they're just doing those steps to be ready. And that's the big thing. Sometimes they try to wait till the very last minute to get things done. We all do that sometimes. I'm guilty of that too. But they need to start early, especially getting their testing done. They want to start with that now, and they want to start working on that applications by December. So that they can get all the pieces done. It doesn't take a long time, but sometimes it takes them a minute to gather the things they need to put into the application. And that's all I have. It's just a basic overview of everything. They'll get more information, your students will, during registration time. The counselors talk to them about all the high school programming. But Heather and I will be here. Do you want to add anything? Sorry, I didn't. Let me. Okay.
This year and is in the Associates program could probably be your best guide to any questions, especially if you have your student here and they want to ask you a question. We're really proud of you. It's really fun. I have my cards if people want to ask questions. I thought of something today that I would like to say. If your student's going to take an AP class or is currently taking an AP class, please be mindful maybe to include that on your application, because I don't want to schedule them for a class that they already get credit for if they pass that AP exam at the end of the year. So they don't usually find out their outcome of their AP exam until the middle of the summer, and they may already be signed up for a class that could be the same credit value. That's very technical, I guess.
Okay, with that, we will let you guys go. If you need to go talk to teachers, if you want to come up and ask questions, we'll be here until you guys are done. But thank you for coming tonight, and we wish your students much success, and we hope they take those concurrent classes.
For the rest of your life. It's going to be, that's what I'm trying to say right now. Yeah, I heard about it. I will. So I can get, I just tell you. It's at 30 years, so I can get. We're checking on that. No, he said Roger, got it. Well, this is the rest of Oh, that's cool. So you'll see it all. Yeah, so it's added. Oh, yeah, for sure. And just reach out. Like, if you have questions at any time, just email me and I'll go press it. Yeah. Seriously. I'm going to see if I can. I was asking if I could. What's the date for veterans? That's a good thing at Rogers High School. Yeah. And they want all like this. The meetings at Rogers? Oh, well then that's easy, it's right there. Yeah.
It's actually recording still, like that big camera back there, yeah.
I'm trying to. Hang on. Go here. Okay, not there.
What about the one that's on, it's scrolling? Make that one have a
No.
YouTube, right?
Oh gosh. I really don't like this thing.
Alright, just pull the plug.
I don't think Shorts would like us if we did that. Hang on.
I guess we walk around with a camera. I'm turn the camera off at least.
Maybe it's the camera. Where is it?
It's right here. It's sitting in this window.
Oh, I see. Ugh. Are we done?